Today, we're going to be talking about buyer's agreements and VA loans. So as of August of this year, all of a sudden across the country, buyers were presented with buyer's agreements, which is basically a form that you're signing with the real estate agent that lays out how much commission they'll make by helping you, as well as how long you're exclusive to them. If you're unfamiliar with the buyer's agreement, I've done other videos, so check those out. But that's the basics. In this video, we're going to be covering what you need to talk to your agent about when you're signing these buyer's agreement and things to watch out for. So if you're new to the channel, I'm a lender licensed in 48 states. I'm currently the #1 VA loan officer in America. What that means is I see a lot of VA loans and I work with a lot of veterans. So here we go. What do you need to know? Now, #1, if an agent gives you a buyer's agreement and tells you to sign it and will not go through it with you, walk away. Just leave. You're done. They need to go through it with you. And sometimes the agents don't have the foresight to realize that. So if you really like them, say, hey, do you mind going through this with me line by line? And the reason I say that is it is a contract where you could be on the hook for their commission. Now, most agents, from what I'm seeing, are still charging some form of a percentage, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, right? I am hearing that there are agents trying to do flat fees or hourly rates. You really need to understand how they expect to get paid. Prior to this, veterans were not allowed to pay real estate agents commissions. That changed. You now could be on the hook for it, so you need to pay attention to this. So #1, make sure the real estate agent goes through it with you and you understand. #2, you can negotiate 2 very big points of this contract. #1, how much the real estate agent makes. And #2, how long you are exclusive to them. Now, what I see a lot of is I see agents sending these out with a 6-month exclusivity with the borrower. Would I sign that? No, not unless I'd already gone out with them and I really liked them and I was going to have a long home search. If I was only going to be shopping for a month or 2, I wouldn't do it longer than that. If I hadn't gone out with them yet, I would do maybe a week, right? You want to work with an agent that you like, and you don't want to sign into one of these contracts before, for an extended period of time before you've spent time with them. Now, look, in the bulk of states, you do have to sign this before you go out, but it doesn't have to be for a super long period. You could do it for a day, okay? And I've talked to a lot of the top real estate agents I work with, and I said, look, would you be okay if a borrower, they hadn't gone out with you yet, if they said, hey, can we just do the buyer's agreement for a week, and if we like each other, great, we'll continue. And every single one said, sure, I'd even do it just for the day, okay? So if an agent says, no, our minimum is 6 months, that's a red flag, right? Because if all the good agents are willing to sign a shorter agreement so that you guys can both make sure you get along and you're going to be able to help each other, great, right? So why are these people trying to force you into a relationship before either one of you knows if you want to work together? Red flag. The other thing that you really need to talk with an agent about is who's going to pay the commission. Now, the way this should work is, let's say that you say, well, I want the seller to pay. They should still show you every single house on the market. And the key is that when they write the purchase contract, it's a point of negotiation. Just like if you need closing costs, that's a point of negotiation. If you want to offer a lower price, that's a point of negotiation. Their commission is now a point of negotiation. So if they say, well, I'll call ahead, and if they're offering, we'll see it, and if they're not, we won't. No. Because what that tells you is they don't want to negotiate. And they're not even going to show you a house without knowing that they're guaranteed a paycheck. Whereas, look, here's the deal. There are some sellers that will say, yeah, I don't want to pay a real estate agent's commission. But guess what? If the house isn't selling and they get an offer and it includes the real estate agent's commission and the math works out, they very well could accept that offer. So I think it's a red flag if they're only going to show you houses where they know they're going to get paid. They're not supposed to be doing that, okay? Very, very important. So The other thing you need to know about these buyer's agreements is you want to ask about what the terms of cancellation are. And you really want that in writing and clear. And I say that because most of the time, if someone's unhappy with their agent, they can cancel any of the houses that the agent showed them. If they go to write an offer on that house, yes, that agent would be eligible to get commission for that because they did show you that property. Okay. There are, however, from what I'm hearing, some agents who are charging cancellation fees. So if someone's telling you there's going to be a cancellation fee, I would be very, oh gosh, I mean, look, it's up to you guys. It's not something, unless I knew it was like the best agent in the world and like they were just giving their heart and soul, okay, but usually that's not what you see. So I'm not really seeing a lot of agents have cancellation fees yet. All of this is negotiation, so remember that. The other thing to know about these is if they have a transaction fee, if they have a compliance fee, you can negotiate that as well. So you're now in this new world where you're negotiating with your real estate agent up front, and it can feel very awkward, but I think you need to embrace the awkwardness. You need to ask a lot of questions, and you need to see how the real estate agent reacts, because it's actually a beautiful precursor to how they will be when you're in contract. You know, if you're asking questions and they're not responding, guess what? When you write a purchase contract or you're in contract to buy that house, that's what you're going to get. Right? So think of it as dating, right? Before you get married and you've got your money on the line with the purchase being accepted, you're dating to make sure that they're going to be looking out for your best interest, that they're going to negotiate for you, that they're willing, you know, they've got that energy and hustle. Now, I'm going to end this with one note that I think is very important. I had this happen recently and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. A buyer's agreement should not be changed after you're in contract. So what I mean by that is, let's say that you have a buyer's agreement for 2% and the seller says, okay, I'll pay 2%. You guys are in contract. If towards closing, you're getting some money back, the agent cannot say, I'm increasing my commission to 3%. I'm going to send you a new buyer's agreement because that money should go to me. If you hear anything like that, you need to know that is wrong. I had an agent recently try to do this. It was crazy. It was so crazy. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to take money out of these veterans' pockets? And her response was, I served for 22 years and I'm not taking money out of their pocket. Yeah, you are. This is their earnest money that's coming back to them, but you're trying to increase your commission so that you can get their earnest money? What? Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. I see crazy stuff every day, guys. I tell you. So look, those are my top tips on a buyer agreement. You know, if you have something screwy going on, or if you're like, Jen, you know, reach out. We cannot read and advise on the buyer's agreement. Let me be clear on that. I'm not a real estate attorney. You know, if you have something where you're like, this sounds weird, does it sound weird to you? Yes or no? But in regards to reviewing the buyer's agreement, we can't tell you, hey, you should do this for commission or this for time. As the lender, we have to stay out of it because we are not licensed as real estate agents or real estate attorneys. So the key is going to be, how good does the agent explain it, right? That is the ticket. So look, questions, comments, as always, reach out. If you need help with the financing part, my team and I are here, 786-933-2077. And yes, if you're working with us and something crazy happens like that, I will fight to the death to make sure that it does not occur. Thanks for watching, guys.